Owais Shah returned to Lords to haunt Middlesex and send them to their third straight defeat in this season's Friends Life T20 competition, as Essex won by 5 wickets with 11 balls to spare. Neil Dexter won the toss and decided to bat first, but then lost Paul Sterling without scoring as he skied a catch off New Zealander Tim Southey. In spite of that early loss, Middlesex still got off to a reasonable start in their first T20 match at Lords this summer after losing a couple on the road. Scott Newman, in at number 3, looked to play some powerful shots in the power play overs, here hitting the first 6 of the match as Scott Styris' opening over proved to be expensive. Chris Rogers was a little slower in getting his innings moving, but the pair were still able to take the total to 38 after 5 overs. Newman's contribution was 22, made off 20 balls, but he then swung Southey out to Ryan Ten-Descarter in front of the grandstand. Tim Phillips, the left-arm spinner who's been the most successful bowler in T20 cricket so far this summer, came on, but Dexter wouldn't let him settle. While Rogers was just beginning to warm to his task as he deposited David Masters for a 6 to take the total onto 67 for 2 in the 9th over. Like the majority of the Panthers players though, Rogers was out just as he was getting set, edging Ravi Bopara behind to go for 25. At the halfway stage, Middlesex had posted 77 for 3, and they now relied on Dexter and John Simpson, Middlesex's Player of the Month for May. The pair produced a handy partnership, picking up the boundaries in the middle overs to keep the scoreboard ticking over on a greenish pitch, which no side knew what a good score would be. Something at more than 8 runs per over looked on though, as this pair added 42 in 6 overs. However, the Panthers failed to kick on in the latter part of their innings. Dexter was given out leg before on the sweep after making 32, and Simpson followed for 29 before Ryan McLaren and Josh Davey tried to improve the scoring rate towards the end of the allotted 20 overs. They were able to scrap their way to 150 for 5 by the end, a total which seemed about par on this wicket, which was being used for the first time this summer. 150 looked more than enough, however, when Bopara cut Stephen Crook to a diving McLaren at point in the first over. And then Stephen Finn had Mark Bettini caught behind with his very first ball in the second. That left Essex on 1 for 2, and they appeared to be facing an uphill task before Shah got off the mark by pulling McLaren over long leg for the first of his 5 sixes. He looked in a very determined mood on his return to Lords, and it soon felt like it might just be his night. He needed to find some support early on, as more wickets would have dropped Essex in a very big hole with little hope of getting out of it. The 2 batsmen were watchful at first, but they were soon finding the boundaries and getting on with the job at hand. Shah in particular was not going to go down without a fight, and he ruined Finn's figures in his final over by flicking him for another maximum, as the England bowler claimed 2 for 26 from his 4 overs. His second wicket was that of Walker, who mishit him to Dexter to depart for 11. Middlesex were still in the ascendancy at this stage, with the visitors losing wickets and falling behind the asking rate. Shah tried to change that with 6 number 3, which just had the distance, while Ten-Descarter gave the fielder no chance with a vicious pull off the bowling of Tom Smith. It still looked though as if this match would see the Panthers register their first win in this summer's T20 tournament, when Ten-Descarter was leg before to Smith's quicker ball for 17, before the spinner had the dangerous Styris stump for 7 to leave Essex on 88 for 5, needing 63 more runs to win off the remaining 7.5 overs and wickets running out. Shah though was excellent and proved to be the difference between the 2 sides. His half-century came off only 38 balls, an innings including just 3 fours, but also those 3 sixes. He now sensed what was becoming a personal victory for him against the club he represented for 15 summers. A 4th 6 soon followed as he took on Anthony Ireland with abandon. Ireland also put down Foster, a costly error as it turned out, as the Essex skipper played a vital role towards the game's finale in support of the former Middlesex man Shah. Ireland's last over, the 18th of the innings, went for 18, and with it went any chance of a Middlesex win. Inevitably, it was left to Shah to finish the match off in style by striking Crook for his 5th maximum to finish unbeaten on 78 from 50 deliveries, while Foster scored 30 off just 18. They put on 67 in 34 balls. It was harsh on the Panthers, who were ahead of this game right up until the moment Shah and Foster came together, and they guided their side home to a 5-wicket win with time to spare. There are still plenty of matches left in this T20 competition, and so all is by no means lost yet, but the Panthers will need to start winning soon.